Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to KSR's rapid reaction of Kentucky's 77-69 win over the Belmont Bruins. This was such a painful game to watch. I talked about it in the podcast. I've said it all year long. I was like, guys, I don't care what Belmont's record is. This is a good team. This is a good basketball team. I don't care that they're 4-6. I don't care. They've taken these top 25 teams down to the wire, and now you have this space where it's like, okay, you really need to beat a 4-6 Belmont team, but this isn't going to be a gimme, and it wasn't. Kentucky beats them by 8 down in Nashville. It was a 2-point game after the first quarter, and you're sitting there and you're watching and you're thinking, okay, like surely Kentucky pull away. And then they did, and it got up to a 17-point lead at one point. And then Belmont goes on this 11-0 run, and now you're sitting there thinking, are you kidding me? Like, this is suddenly a 6-point game. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, is Belmont going to do the thing? Are they going to come back? Are they going to win this game? And then eventually, late in the fourth quarter, Kentucky makes it 71-60. And then basically from there, you're fouling back and forth and whatnot. And then Kentucky pulls it out, 8-point win. This was not a game to remember for Clara Strack. And I love her to death. And she played pretty well towards the end of the game, I thought. But I think for 30 minutes of the game, take it or leave it, she just wasn't very good. She started the game shooting like 3 of 13 from the field. Just again, like horrible stuff. Like there was one possession I remember watching her, and she got like 2 or 3 offensive rebounds in that one possession, or I guess it was 2 because she had 3 total in the game. And she puts up 3 shots back to back to back, and they're like, dude, like, listen, I'm all for opportunities close at the rim, but not when you're being triple teamed and you have 5 kids, or the whole Belmont squad is like scratching and clawing at it. Like, dude, you're fading and falling, trying to make a shot, like to pass it out. Like all season long, I don't know if I've said it, but I know I've thought it, where I'm sitting there, 99% of the time, I sit there and I go, you know what? Just grab that rebound and just go back up with it. Okay, but today, no. Like, no, that was not the case today. Like, Clara Strack, like, please. Like, it was just brutal. But again, I thought towards the end of the game, she did play better. I asked Kenny in the press conference, I was like, that's part of what took us so long to get here for this rapid reaction. I was like, hey, Kenny, did you have to talk to her, because she was starting the game bad and she picked it up, or was it just a matter of her figuring it out? And he was like, it's just a work in process right now with Clara Strack. You're reigning SEC Defensive Player of the Year. You're one of your leaders, a junior. I don't know if you love to hear it's a process, but I guess it's a process, right? 18 points on the day, which, you read her stats. 18 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks and a steal. Like, she didn't play like bad if you go off that. But then you look a little bit closer at the stat sheet. Well, she shoots 8 of 21 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3. And then she had 3 turnovers too, but I didn't even think that was a big deal. But it's just like, I feel like Clara Strack was just chucking shots, and I couldn't figure out why. Like, again, I just don't get. I don't know if there was a message, pregame that was like, hey, we need you to play good, or we need you to be Clara Strack for us to win this game, because this is a tough Belmont team. But again, like, it's just, I'm watching it and I'm like, dude, please pass. Like, please stop. Kentucky's 3-point shooting on the day, though, I know we talked about it in KS Board, and I'm sure a lot of you watching this felt the same thing. Like, does it get to a point to where, you're 8 of 31 from 3, shoot 26% on the day? Does it get to a point to where, like, you just stop? Like, I feel like a lot of the threes were contested, and I normally love them shooting threes because they normally get good open looks. But Belmont, like, I felt like, and I'm contradicting myself because I just talked about, okay, Clara, please don't just sit there in the paint, offensive rebound, put it up. And now I'm saying, please don't shoot contested threes. But that's just a credit to Belmont's defense and how well they played. Okay, I'm like Matt G over here talking about no more turnovers too. Kentucky had 17 on the day, I believe. which, of course, is well above what their normal number. But again, I don't even feel like the turnovers were the biggest thing, but you obviously don't love 17 turnovers. They did play sloppy a little bit, I felt like. And there's no reason someone like Tootie Jones should have 24 points and 10 rebounds on you, shooting 6 of 11 from the field, 4 of 9 from 3. Like I feel like a lot of things just were frustrating today. It was a very frustrating basketball game to watch. And I mean, again, when it's a close game against a 4-6 team, I mean, it's 4-5 at the time, but 4-6 now. Like, it's going to be kind of frustrating. But I guess to kind of look at the positive side, you held Belmont to 37% shooting from the field. Now, half of their makes came from beyond the arc. They shot 36% from 3, but, they made 22 shots. 10 of them came from 3. I guess you don't love that. But Kentucky, you know what? They did dominate on the glass. They had 49 rebounds compared to Belmont's 29. And 19 offensive rebounds compared to Belmont's 7. And Kenny wasn't even satisfied with that number post-game. He was like, I want us to be even more dominant if we're going to get to where we want to be. But, I just felt like watching this game. If, you could tell on the court, one team is more talented than the other team. But Bart Brooks is a hell of a ball coach. And I'm not saying Kenny's not. But Bart Brooks, he brings Belmont up to that standard where, they take Oklahoma, Ohio State, Tennessee, all these teams down to the wire, Just looking at some of Kentucky's stats. Amelia Hassett, again, I said it in the podcast and I wrote it in my game preview for this morning. She was the game MVP, and I fully expected that because it just felt like an Amelia Hassett type game almost. 19 points, made 5 threes, 5 of 14. So, not the most efficient numbers from 3 necessarily. But she did make 5 threes, so that's always nice. 19 points, like I said. 10 rebounds on the day for her. Played 39 minutes. Something else I thought was interesting. I asked Kenny about this because, well, first of all, I want to note something real quick. In the post-game press conference, Kenny Brooks revealed to us that Lexi Blue is under the weather. He said, coming off of illness, and she hasn't practiced the last couple days. And if you go, I didn't even realize she only played 2 minutes tonight. So you're sitting there watching. Hopefully Lexi Blue gets better. Hopefully she gets through that illness. I know it's like a weird time of year where the weather's changing and it's super cold and nasty all the time right now. So hopefully Lexi gets better. But that kind of leads me to my next point, where Tony Morgan played all 40 minutes of the game, guys. Tony Morgan was out there for every second of that basketball game. And Kenny was like, you don't plan for it, but sometimes you have to ask her to do it. Sometimes she's just got to be able to do that for you to win. 18 points from Tony Morgan, 9 assists. She was pretty much, I would say, I think it's almost fair to say the reason Kentucky won. Because, when you're only up by 6 points late, you get the ball in Tony Morgan's hands. Well, she goes 9 of 10 from the free throw line, right? I remember I said it, and I believe it was the last Rapid Reaction, or maybe it was the podcast this week, where I said, I love good free throw shooting because it's 3 points, and it can do things like this, like give you separation against Belmont. And she goes 9 of 10 from the line, so you love to see it. You don't love the 6 turnovers from her, but everybody had turnovers, right? Jordan Obi, who I thought started the game really well, kind of disappeared a little bit in the second half, I felt like. 13 points, 10 rebounds, so she did get a double-double, but 5 turnovers from her. You don't love to see that. And, you just look across the rest of the stat sheet, and no one else did a ton. Tiana Key had 5.6 rebounds, but it was just an ugly game, guys. It was ugly. As Matt G says, again, it was uninspiring looking basketball. It was just not, this is not a game that we're all going to be like, I can't wait to go back and watch this one back. Whenever Obalo or whatever his name is throws this game on YouTube later, we're all not going to be sitting here going, man, Kentucky Belmont. Remember how fun that was? Remember how great that was? Let's watch it again. You're going to, dude, you flush this game out of your mind and move on to Wright State this Friday and then Hofstra after that and then the SEC play. This is a game you just flush down the toilet and be like, thank God we won. Um, I sit here and I'm conflicted because I said on KS Board, and I almost tweeted it, but I didn't. Um, I think I could have, but I just didn't. And my point that I said was, I hope Kentucky never plays Belmont again, or a team like Belmont again, because they're good enough to where they can't sneak up on you and make this a way too close and make it way too, like, are we going to lose this game, right? But at the same time, they're not good enough for it to be a great win. I guess it's a quad 3 win. Now maybe as they go through conference play, maybe this ends up being a quad 2. I don't know, right? But it just feels like the risk to reward with this game is just not there. I said on KS Board, if you're going to play a team like Belmont, you might as well either play a power 4 or just play a stinky team. Like either beat a stinky team by 40 or play a power 4 and see what you do, right? I thought it was interesting in the post-game presser. Kenny was like, "I didn't want to do this. Like, I didn't want this home and home. We just had to do it because, scheduling was hard last year, and we had to reluctantly take the home and home series. But Kentucky sweeps the home and home, so that's fun. Again, this was such like a nerve-wracking game to watch. I'm literally sitting here like biting my nails as that game's going on, but Kentucky hangs on 77-69. Cats win in Nashville. Kentucky is 11-1 and back-to-back seasons for the first time since 1819 and 1920. So it's been a while since Kentucky's had back-to-back seasons of 11-1. Let's make it 12-1 and then 13-1 and see what the hell you can go do down against LSU. I'm Phoenix Stevens with KSR's Rapid Reaction of Kentucky's 77-69 win over Belmont. Like, comment, subscribe. Please do all those wonderful things for us here on the KSR YouTube channel. It means a lot to me, Stephen Peak, and, of course, all of us here at KSR. Like I said, 77-69 Cats. Nice. Go Cats, Matt G. There we go. Shout out to Matt G. He's like one of our loyal commenters. Really appreciate him for following along. Appreciate all of you as well. And I will see you guys again back here for our next Rapid Reaction. Go Cats.